And finally, this week it was the United Nations International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. Before I give my take, let me remind you of the following facts. UNRWA members took part in the October 7 massacres, including boasting about having female hostages. The UN Special Rapporteur, Francesca Albanese, still cannot accept women were raped during the horrific attacks.
Rape and gang rape occurred across multiple locations of Israel and the Gaza periphery during the attacks on 7th of October. Do you now accept that they happened?
I prefer to rely on the report on the two reports issued this year by the Commission of Inquiry.
Is she insane? They admitted it themselves, not to mention the hordes of irrefutable evidence. And just a warning, what you're about to hear is confronting. It's awful.
لا أبوي قتلها هو قال لي بعد ما طلعنا احنا قال لي قتلناه طبعا طلعت لقيت مستوطن متخبي بالشجر.
No, Francesca, you would just prefer to look at those two reports. As the UN was having cupcakes and patting themselves on the back for their incredible work fighting for women's rights, mums in Israel were lying on top of their daughters to protect them from missiles. Abigail Eden, she turned 5 years old this week. Cute, huh? Except her parents were both murdered in front of her. She was then held hostage for 50 days. She's lucky though, right? She was released. What about the 13 innocent women still held captive by Hamas for more than 400 days? So, UN, forgive me if I'm not rejoicing in your noble pursuit of eliminating violence against women. And believe you me, I normally would be. I'd be sharing, I'd be speaking. This issue is so personal for me. I shared my story for the first time this year. I was nearly killed by a man I was in a long-term relationship with, multiple times. This from a witness to just one of thousands of incidents. And it was mild too because it was in public. She spoke to the journalist who wrote my story. And a warning, this too is confronting. My boyfriend and I were having drinks with them and he got angry at her. They went outside and the next thing I hear is her screaming. And I went out to see him pulling her along the ground by her hair. He threw her in the back of her car and sped off. That was me. So when I tell you I have some understanding of what these women have gone through and are going through, I mean it. The outpouring of support for me when I eventually shared my story was incredible. It was overwhelming. It was public, so much love. And it's still hard. Imagine going through that and so much worse, not only without support, but with the denial of the atrocities from the very people who are meant to be fighting for you. I needed a long time to heal, and it's a process. I couldn't start that journey until I was safe. You cannot heal where you are hurt. They are hundreds of days in, still held hostage by the same animals who killed their loved ones and attacked them violently. That's if they're still alive. And all the while, on this horror, the United Nations stays silent. So screw your day of elimination of violence against women. It's all women or it's none. You haven't just failed those still in Gaza, you have failed us all. Your refusal to stand against terror isn't just hurting the victims of it right now, it is creating a generation of new ones. Because every young person at risk of offending watching you now will be empowered by your weakness.